Hi, good evening and welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Carmen McGuinness, and on this channel we discuss relationships of all sorts, including what I call the primary relationship, which is the relationship that we have with ourselves. So a little bit about my background. Sometimes my subscribers will ask what qualifies you to talk about these topics, and I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I have a doctorate in behavior analysis, and I also have a master's in health psychology and behavioral medicine and another master's in holistic nutrition education. So I've been working with families and children for about 35 years in one capacity or another, and this is my current passion, working with relationships. I feel strongly that this is so important to our own internal happiness. Toward that end, I recently, in the last 10 years or so, have qualified in different topics such as attachment theory and acceptance and commitment therapy. So these are the areas in which I specialize. So that said, we will go on with today's topic, which is New Year's resolutions. Something that should definitely not be done on New Year's Day when we're hungover or have spent too much money on Christmas or something like that. Because really what we need to do is we need to focus on all of us and not just this snapshot that is, a sort of a hallmark picture of the holidays. So moving forward with that topic, making New Year's resolutions is an ancient practice that has been done in most cultures, actually. Written record of promises to change in the coming year date back to about 4,000 years ago, to Babylon. And the Babylonians made their promises actually to the gods rather than to themselves. Today, many of us believe that we embody a higher aspect of ourselves, a more godlike self, so to speak, a kinder, wiser, more evolved us. So maybe it's not all that different today when we make these New Year's promises to ourselves. And this takes us to my very first recommendation, and that is that you should be thinking of yourself and what you need and want in the coming year when you make that New Year's resolution. And it should be made to that higher, more evolved you, the one who's kind of got your back, that you that says, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't do this. And recommendation number 2, treat your resolutions like a contract with yourself. Because really the purpose of resolutions is to monitor oneself with the goal of doing more of what we always knew was best for us anyway. And when in this way we are more purposeful in our actions, or vigilant, you might say, of ourselves, we can be less vigilant of those around us. Because making the best choice for us puts us in the company of better people. People who are mindful of themselves so that we don't have to be. And this brings us to recommendation number 3. Resolutions should always benefit you. For instance, a client recently confided that one of his resolutions is to spend more time with his children. But also that if that feels, he also confided that feels a little bit onerous to him, while working harder, feels easy to him. So I think a lot of us today are in this situation. We want to provide for our children, so that sort of feels like the thing that we need to do, and sometimes we forego spending time with them because of this. It's a shame. So as we talk through this, my client and I, he found that maybe his resolution should be to work smarter. When you work smarter, your calendar miraculously clears, and then when your time is actually clear, you may want to spend more time with your children. So that's one example. But be specific in the above. It may be if you work all the time that you don't know exactly what to do with your children. And if that's the case, then make that particular resolution. finding things to do with the kids. And often, if we have many children, we find that their interests are very different, or they might be of different ages or abilities. So sometimes that means doing things separately with our children. Find things to do with Susie, find things to do with Bobby. And this gets us to my fourth recommendation. Be specific. Resolutions should be defined. For instance, organize the closet, garage, the pantry, rather than just get organized. I mean, what does that even mean, get organized? That sounds like a lifetime goal to me. You can get the resolution, or you can set, the resolution to organize all three of those things, the closet, the garage, and the pantry, but set them separately so that you can cross each off as you accomplish them. And this gets us to my recommendation number 5. Resolutions should be measurable. For example, lose 20 pounds by April 15th rather than lose 20 pounds, period. And this is a good time for my 6th recommendation. Resolutions should be attainable. Losing 20 pounds by February 15th or 1st, as one friend said to me the other night, like 2 nights ago, that I'm recording this, I think it's January 7th or 6th. That is not going to happen. So lose 20 pounds by February 15th might be a bit ridiculous and dangerous, in fact, but April 15th is actually attainable. And number 7, my recommendation number 7, there should be inherent rewards in whenever you attain any of your resolutions. But if it's a huge undertaking, reward yourself for the small steps so that you feel the joy. Lose 5 pounds a month for 4 months, for instance. And then each time you lose that 5 pounds, you get a little reward. However, as in that example, dietary changes are part of your resolution. Don't make the mistake of reinforcing yourself with the very thing that you're cutting back on. Same thing goes with alcohol. So if you want to lose 20 pounds and you're cutting back and you've lost the first 5, that doesn't mean you get to have pasta or cake. In behavioral terms, that is only going to make those things more valuable. Whatever is reinforcing, whatever we set out there as our reinforcer it's going to have a higher value to us. So this takes us to recommendation number 8, actually, which is to reinforce yourself with something unrelated to the thing that you're cutting back on, but related to your desired outcome. So maybe a wee shopping trip in order to cheer yourself up after that first 5 pounds so that you're reinforced for having lost the first 5. And let's just say you want to lose a lot of weight and 5 pounds isn't enough really to go shopping because you feel like, well, I'm going to get new clothes after I lose the 30 or whatever it is you're trying to lose. Then buy yourself new shoes or a scarf or something that's going to look absolutely fabulous with the new clothes that you're going to go buy after you hit your goal, or maybe halfway through your goal. Or maybe just have a spa day. Ooh, I love spa days. And number 9, recommendation number 9, ultimately, resolutions are about sacrificing for yourself. You give up something you enjoy and desire in order to achieve a better you in some way. The Norse myth of Odin comes to mind with this. Odin cut out his own eye. Now, this is a myth, kids. Don't try this at home. So that he could see better with the other eye. Later, he hung himself, not to death, but he hung himself from the tree of life so that he would become unconscious and gain the wisdom of the universe and become a better man. Now, don't try these things at home, please. This is obviously not the real world. But instead, and this is my 10th recommendation, think of your resolutions as a kind of alchemy, making lemonade out of lemons. When we work with what we have, we end up with a better us rather than something foreign that is either out of reach or not actually what we wanted to begin with. So, those are my recommendations, 10 for you. And with those and the beautiful day here, I wish you a very happy new year, and I hope that this week and the rest of your year is amazing. And I will see you this Wednesday for my midweek sneak peek as to content next Sunday. Take care.